A young woman missing without trace 6,000 miles from home.
All I remember hearing was her just saying, "Lucy, missing," and she was absolutely hysterical.
A family's desperate battle to find their daughter.
I couldn't really understand. I was thinking, why are they looking for Lucy's body? Lucy must be alive somewhere.
And the dramatic search that led police to a killer and rapist.
This man was a serial offender. He had been violating and raping women for years and years.
In early May 2000, Lucy Blackman left her home in this quiet street in Kent for the last time. She was 21 years old, and like so many other young people of her age, she was looking forward to travelling and seeing more of the world before settling down.
I didn't want her to go at all. I just had this gut feeling, I can't explain it, but I just felt something dreadful was going to happen to her. I did express that to her and to my friends and family, and she kept saying to me, "Mummy, Mummy, you know, I'll be fine, I'll take great care of myself."
Lucy was an experienced traveller, having worked as an air hostess for British Airways. But the constant flying had left her exhausted, and Lucy had quit. As the new millennium dawned, she and close friend Louise Phillips agreed on a new plan.
She wanted to break away from home and the family and go on a bit of a trip, and this was the option that had been presented, to go to Japan, and she wanted to go and earn some serious money and pay off some of the debts that she'd got.
Lucy's destination was Tokyo. The neon-lit, overcrowded metropolis was in stark contrast to her home in Kent.
So where are you off to today?
She and Louise gravitated to a lively district, popular with Westerners.
Roppongi basically is one of the entertainment districts in Tokyo. Generally speaking, it's frequented mainly by Westerners or foreigners, and Japanese people who want to, you know, interact with those people.
With its hundreds of bars and clubs, Roppongi provided plenty of work for foreign girls. Lucy was soon emailing home to say she had found work in the Casablanca club.
As I said, I'm really, you know, what are you doing? She said, "Oh, I'm hostessing," in the emails, and I was just like, that sounds really dodgy. And she was like, "No, no, it's fine, it's fine. There's, you go," and she sort of told me how it works. You go and have a drink with a customer, and you just talk to them. And you're just there for company, and you get paid in relation to how many customers request you. And she said, "You get the odd dodgy one." She said, "But, you know, I know how to handle them, so don't worry."
It's like a white geisha. There is a lot of kudos to being seen with a beautiful Western girl, but it's all totally innocent. And I think something that's very, very important to understand is it is absolutely not prostitution.
All she had to do was just listen to Japanese men talking about really boring things, and she said, in a way, it was like being an air hostess, but without the altitude.
Part of Lucy's job was to meet customers for dinner dates before her shift began. In hostess clubs, such dates are known as dohans.
They encourage hostesses to entertain clients for dinner and then bring them to the club. So you might go for dinner at 7 o'clock and you'll be in the club by 9.
At the Casablanca club, where Lucy worked, girls would be sacked if they didn't arrange enough dohans.
I think she made a comment at some point about there being like a scoreboard, a list, who was doing the best and who wasn't doing so great. And she, at that time, she wasn't doing that well. And she was very anxious about it because obviously she wanted to earn some money, and she didn't want to lose the job. She wanted to stay working in the same bar with Louise. That was the whole point of being there together.
Lucy and the other hostesses were watched over by the Mama-san, whose job it was to keep an eye on who they were meeting and bringing into the club.
I said, you know, you will be careful, won't you? And she said, oh, Mummy, it's perfectly right. The Mama-san knows who I'm going out with, and they're regulars to the club. And she said, you know, and then I just walked to the restaurant, and then we walked to the... so there was no sort of going in cars or anything like that.
But Lucy's next Dohan would be her last. Just 8 weeks after arriving in Tokyo, Lucy got ready to see a customer she had met at the club.
Is anyone else coming?
No, it's just going to be us two.
This is the account of her friend, Louise Phillips.
She had agreed to meet this man for a coffee, but she said she'd only be an hour. Bye, have a good time. I will do. Bye.
Just before 5 p.m, Lucy rang Louise to say she'd met her date. It was a hot afternoon, and Lucy said he was driving her to the coast.
Look, I'll call you later. Okay, bye.
Hey, how are you getting on? Lucy called me again at about 7:15 and then said she was just leaving. She said she had a good time and that you'd given her a mobile phone.
Okay.
Okay, are you going to be back in time for tonight? We were going out together that evening and she said she'd be back by
Fine.
8 o'clock. Okay, cool. So you'll be back within an hour, definitely.
Yes. All right, bye-bye.
It was the last time anyone heard from Lucy. Over the next 2 days, Louise grew increasingly alarmed. Then, early on Monday evening, she got a call from a Japanese man.
Lucy?
May I speak to Louise Phillips, please?
This is Louise.
Lucy can't talk to you at the moment.
He spoke really good
She's been
English.
studying
He said Lucy was okay, but she joined a new religious group and she wouldn't be coming home. Please, can you put me on the phone to Lucy? I kept asking to speak to Lucy, but he just hung up.
Look, she doesn't want to see anyone.
Hello? Hello?
At home in Kent, Lucy's mother was wrapping up a parcel to send to her daughter in Japan.
It was 12:30, sort of lunchtime-ish, and I had literally just parcelled up the shoes and the sweets, and I was literally just going out the door to walk to the post office to send it, and the phone went.
Hello? Oh, hi, Louise.
There was just this hysterical voice on the other end, and all I remember hearing was her just saying, Lucy, missing, and she was absolutely hysterical.
What's the matter?
And then, as she said that, my legs just buckled, and I just said, Louise, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to go because I'm going to be sick.
Sorry.
Lucy's disappearance would spark a desperate search that exposed the dark side of Tokyo's nightlife, a search that would lead to the capture of one of Japan's most notorious criminals. On a hot Saturday in July 2000, Lucy Blackman disappeared while on a date with a man she'd met at a Tokyo nightclub. In the days that followed, the lack of contact with her family was wildly out of character.
She and I were very, very close, and she used to, you know, when she was working, she'd phone me up all the time and ask me things like, you know, what should I have for lunch today, Mummy?
Lucy was the eldest of 3 children. When her parents divorced, she, her sister Sophie and brother Rupert all lived with their mother in Kent.
I was just so thrilled when she was born, and I just couldn't believe that she was, you know, my baby, and she was a very, very happy little girl. She was very bubbly. She was like instant sunshine. She was like a little butterfly. She just had this presence.
She's light up a room. She's full of energy, absolutely. She always planned everything, all the trips she did as an air hostess. She would have her little notes about everything she needed to take with her and pack. And for Japan, it was so out of character for her.
In the days following Lucy's disappearance, her family and friends back in England grew increasingly anxious.
You worry and you're frightened, but you're like, no, she's going to be fine. She's just going to turn up any minute now. She's just got lost or something. She'll turn up.
That's nearly 2 days ago.
Jane was just on the phone the whole time, trying to find out the details, what's going on, what do you mean she's gone missing, how has she gone missing, just trying to frantically find out, what's going on.
Yes, I phoned them.
I just really didn't know what to do. I phoned up my brother and I phoned different people up, but you don't really know what to do.
Yes, could I speak to someone in the embassy, please?
I think if she'd gone missing in England, then you can phone the police up. When your daughter goes missing in Japan, who do you phone up? It's very difficult knowing what to do.
There must be someone there that I can speak to.
Lucy had vanished in one of the world's busiest cities.
Look, she doesn't want to see anyone.
Hello?
The only
Hello?
lead was the mysterious Japanese caller who'd claimed she had run off to join a religious group.
At that point, we thought she's been kidnapped. She's locked up in some strange cult thing, because there's no way she'd go willingly. Right, let's go out there and get her back. We'll march out there, we'll find her, and we'll drag her out. And we honestly believed that we could do that.
Sophie Blackman was just 20, but she was determined to fly out to Tokyo immediately and bring her sister home.
I think in her wonderful innocence, I think she thought she was going to walk down the street and see this blonde girl and go, there we are, there's Lucy. I mean, that's what I think she felt that she was going to do.
Lucy's ex-boyfriend, Jamie, offered to travel with Sophie. Within 24 hours, they arrived in Tokyo and saw how daunting the task of finding her might be.
It was just really, really foreign. I mean, it's such a big place. It's just condensed into such a small area. Like, you're on highways at 50 foot in the air, going over buildings. You go to Europe, you go to places in the world, and you can half get away with speaking English, really. You go to Japan and you've got two different types of alphabet. Our hands were tied, really. There was only so much we could do.
But more frustrating was the attitude of the Japanese police.
They just didn't really seem to be that bothered. And it was just a sad situation, because I just didn't feel we was getting anywhere. Every day that just goes by and you're just there twiddling your thumbs.
A week on, they'd found no new clues.
So I felt like I'd failed. And I just felt useless.
I got Sophie ringing me from Tokyo saying, I go to the police station every day, Daddy, and they just say, go away, Lucy's over 21, she can go missing if she likes. Sophie managed to get her listed as a missing person on a postcard, which went in a vast file of missing persons, but that's all that we could get done.
But publicity would soon inject the investigation with new urgency. British reporters spotted a short article about Lucy in a Japanese newspaper.
It was a very small story, simply saying that a British tourist, unnamed, a 21-year-old woman, had gone missing, and that her family were anxious about her whereabouts and looking for her. But within 2 or 3 days, it became clear that there was a lot more to this, and the story quickly escalated into one of the biggest of that summer.
Lucy was working as a hostess in this nightclub to try and raise money to continue.
But there's been persistent speculation that Lucy may have been kidnapped by a cult.
She hasn't been seen for almost 2 weeks now. The only clue to her whereabouts, a call to one of her friends from a man...
Lucy's father, Tim, arrived in Tokyo determined to stoke the press attention further. Within a fortnight of Lucy's disappearance, she was headline news.
I'm sure you'll appreciate it's my sister who's missing, and I just want her to come home.
Sophie and I spent every night trying to think, well, how